Okay, let's try a different format. I normally review comments and stuff like that, but this is actually the second video from this individual I'm watching, and I'm not blowing up his presentation or putting him on the spot or anything, but just for the source, if you want to follow along, this is the video we're going to be reviewing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I got extreme gastro tension right now. And we're just going to go over it. I've already watched it about halfway through, and I got a couple tabs up here. Let's get into this topic. Dr. Michael Heiser explains Jesus being a son of God, and it's mind-blowing. If you follow my channel, you understand what I'm talking about, the whole Genesis 6. Okay, we are the morning stars. Jesus is the morning star. He is the self-existing eternal name, and he appoints it, and he gives it. And why dost thou ask after my name? I don't understand the confusion on this topic. Unless you understand he who provides the images controls your mind. So let's get rid of the images, and that's exactly what we're going to discuss. So the different format on this video is just going to be following along. We're going to follow along with this presentation, okay? We're going to listen to it all. This might be a bit longer than normal.
Jesus is the Son of God.
So let's give it a go around.
In the New Testament.
Oh Lord, guide my tongue, hold my jaw. Please don't let the donkey bite no one.
Dr. Michael Heiser explains what makes Jesus
He is wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove.
Of God. He shows this amazing example of what makes God Yahweh and what makes Jesus Yahweh compared to any other son of God. Let's get into it. Shout out to Dr. Michael Heiser and all the amazing things that he's done. You can go and subscribe.
And to reinforce what this young man just said, he just said that Jesus is the Yahweh. This is absolutely correct. All your gospel names represent that. There's not brown people running around with white names. What imagery of division. Shame on you. So, what he just said is absolutely correct. He is the self-existing eternal name. We're going to get into this. If you follow my doctrine, you guys know exactly where I'm going with this.
They still post on
We're going biblical.
Anyway, let's get into it.
Jesus is the Son of God. That seems like a big deal.
Okay.
In the New Testament. But we've got all these other sons of God in the Old Testament who are spiritual beings. How can that be? How does that work? Well, if we go to John 3:16, again, this is a verse that I'm sure all of us know by heart. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. Let me turn on my pane view again. His only son. Now, right here, we have the Greek word behind the one I clicked on is monogenes. Monogenes. Now, there was a time in biblical studies, and it's reflected in older translations like the King James. It'll say only begotten. There was a time in biblical studies where monogenes was thought to originate from two Greek terms.
That's true. When I was memorizing John 3:16, it was from the King James Version. It was, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life.
Life abundantly.
Let's see if that is holding true.
Monos, which means one or only, and then genao, which is a verb that means to beget. And that's where we got the translation, only begotten.
The deliverance.
Now, in the late 19th, early to mid 20th centuries, there was more Greek material from the Koine stage of the Greek language, which is the language of the New Testament, Koine Greek, that established the fact that that's really not what's going on with monogenes. Instead of monogenes being formed from monos and genao, it's really formed from monos and the noun gene. Monos means one or only. Gene means kind or type. A type of a thing, a kind of thing. What the term really means is one of a kind. Unique. Okay, for God so loved the world that he gave his unique son.
Wow.
That whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. You say, well, big deal, Mike.
I mean, it is a big deal. Because if he's the only one, there's no other God like him. There's no other son of God like Jesus. That's a huge difference because we believe Jesus is obviously the Son of God, but also he is and always was. He is Yahweh.
If we did a search, and I'm going to do a search here on the lemma monogenes, and just do a quick search of my Bible. Let's make this a little bigger. I'm not going to go through all of these because they're all consistent with what I'm going to say, but there's a key one down here in Hebrews 11:7 or 11:17. Pardon me. By faith, Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, who had received the promises.
Okay, Isaac.
And he who had received the promises was in the act of offering up his only, there's the word, his monogenes son. Question.
Oh.
Was Isaac...
Okay, before I allow the video to play out, I've already done a small study on this where I skip the stone across the surface of the depths on this topic. Isaac, too, carried the wood on his back. This is important because the wood is the temple walls. All right, let's continue.
Isaac, Abraham's only son.
Very important.
No.
Very important.
He'd already had a boy, Ishmael. In fact, Isaac wasn't even the firstborn, at least, of all Abraham's sons. He's the firstborn of Sarah. But why would Isaac be called monogenes? Why would Isaac be unique? It's because he was the son of Sarah by supernatural act of God, and he was the inheritor of the covenant. None of Abraham's other sons could say that.
That's why he carries the wood.
Okay, what's the point? The point is that the term means unique, and we can see that in this parallel. This is why Isaac is specifically isolated, and it doesn't mean the only one that exists. Okay, like the people who want to say that Psalm 82 is just, Elohim or people.
But
okay?
he's the one
None
who
of
put the
other
wood
gods
on his
exist.
back.
No, Jesus is called the monogenes for a very specific reason. What makes Jesus unique among all other sons of God? He's Yahweh.
What amazing foreshadow, though, as well. Exactly, the begotten son, the only son, unique son, just like Abraham was going to offer up Isaac to God. And God's like, wait. Now that I know, obviously, that I am your one true God and there's nothing above me, but also, I'm not going to take your sacrifice. I'm not going to take you sacrificing your only son. I am going to sacrifice my only son. I'm going to sacrifice myself so that all mankind could be saved. That's beautiful.
He has, again, the unique set of attributes of Yahweh. He was the son who pre-existed his birth. Okay, that one is the one that God sent, again, to be an offering for sin. None of the other ones, that one. So...
Okay, there's so much to understand. Why is Isaac and Jesus carrying these temple walls, the wood on their back? You are all cedars in this garden. And the fellers that come against you, everything I say is biblical. I could easily produce these studies. The fellers that come against you are tree choppers, okay? This is why behemoths have a tail as a cedar, because you are no longer the head, the Leviathan now is, and you are the tail, and you have casted your stars to the earth. This is why the skies roll up their scrolls. The morning stars no longer give out their names. I have a very important study coming up on Samson. Samson, too, is a woman in a temple, and he goes into the black, the prostitutes, and he whitewashes them until his walls were weakened. And the temple fell. He went black, just like Solomon, just like Eve and Adam. Because it wasn't until Shem, the name, the men of renown, the morning stars, the sons of God that went up into the daughters that are fair, the prostitutes. Okay, let's continue. My goodness.
Have multiple sons of God who are supernatural beings.
No.
That doesn't impinge on the uniqueness of Jesus any more than it impinges on the uniqueness of Yahweh, because Jesus is the Son. Okay, he's a Trinitarian Godhead thing. And as we progress through the course, we're going to see, again, we're going to get into this God as man theology of the Old Testament and how that prepares and creates a framework for understanding the deity of Jesus. But for now, again, I'm just going back to something familiar in your Trinitarian Christian theology to make the point again that plural Elohim does not impinge on this at all. Whether it's God...
It's actually very important because the Elohim... Oh, man. Stupid advertisements. Okay, hold on. Okay, because the Elohim and the Adonai are synonymous. They are both plural. Who is going into these giants? And we're going to get into that here in a second. Let me just play this out.
A lot of people don't understand when he's talking about this. They think, oh my goodness, he believes in multiple gods, as in like something like Mormonism. But that's not true. He believes in the Trinity. And yes, some things are different, but he falls under the line of orthodoxy for the most part.
Now there's a little bit more here. The day of the Lord. I think spiritual warfare always comes up, in this discussion, because you've got these entities over the nations and whatnot. And so people bring up the term spiritual warfare. And what spiritual warfare really is, there's an already element to it, and there's a not yet. The not yet is an eschatological judgment that Psalm 82 describes. So what Psalm 82 describes is actually echoed in other passages. Remember, I said, you're gods, all of you, but you're going to die like men. And then the psalmist says, rise up, O Lord, and take back the nations. Judge those gods and take back the nations, okay? We've got here Isaiah 34, 1 through 4. Let's go to that, and then we'll go to the other one. So Isaiah 34, this is the judgment of the nations. Draw near, O nations, to hear, and give attention, O peoples. Let the earth hear, and all that fills it, the world and all that comes from it. For the Lord is enraged against all the nations and fierce against their host. He has devoted them to destruction, which is the conquest word, karam.
Okay, now we're getting into it.
He has given them over for slaughter.
Now we're getting into it.
Their slain shall be cast out, the stench of their corpses shall rise, the mountains shall flow with their blood. All the host of heaven shall rot away.
Oh, here we
and
go.
The skies roll up like a scroll. All their host shall fall as leaves fall from the vine, like leaves falling from the fig tree.
The
I'm not
fig
going to run the
tree,
search
the
here,
feller that
but
came
you see
against
the phrase,
us.
their host, in verse 4, and their host in verse 2.
Let's look at
Every
their
time in the
host,
Hebrew
because y'all are
Bible,
staring at the sky.
Savah
Let's look at this.
is
Please.
suffixed with that, with
Please.
the third plural suffix, their host. It refers to supernatural beings. It never refers to humans, which is kind of an interesting observation. Again, it's just sort of a trivia point here. But the point of Isaiah 34, 1 through 4 is that both the earthly nations and the heavenly host behind them are judged at the day of the Lord. Both of them. And that would make sense because they're intertwined together in Old Testament thought. Isaiah 24, 21.
Okay, here we go.
On that day, which is a stock description for the day of the Lord. Again, you could look that up and see that.
We will.
On that day, the Lord will punish the host of heaven in heaven, the spiritual beings in the spiritual world, and the kings of the earth.
He keeps saying that, and I don't know why.
They'll be gathered together as prisoners in a pit. They'll be shut up in a prison. After many days, they will be punished. Then the moon shall be confounded, the sun ashamed. The Lord of hosts reigns on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and his glory will be before his elders. Did you know that Yahweh has elders?
Okay, stop. Let's look into his claim here. So here I have, like I said, I've already somewhat previously viewed this video halfway through. We're going to look at Isaiah 24:21 as he's saying, and it says here, and it shall come to pass in the day that he shall punish. Let's look at here. The host of the high ones. Okay? So let's look into his claim when he keeps stressing that these are supernatural beings. So let's go ahead and look at the hosts. I believe I've already clicked it here. Let's go ahead and just rerun it. That way I don't have to boomerang somewhere. So let's look into this host, the Sabah. And it's a host to war, army, battle, service in its appointed time, warfare, soldiers, and in a company. That which goes forth an army, warfare hosts, organized army, hosts of angels, of sun, moon, and stars. Pay very close attention to my morning stars video. The whole creation, warfare, service, go out to war, and service. A mass of persons. See that? Or figuratively of things, especially regular organized for war and army, by implication a campaign, literally or figuratively, specifically hardship, warship, appointed time, battle, company, host, service, soldiers, waiting upon, warfare. And we could get more into it, but this appears to be a giant in the earth that will enslave our enemies. Look at 1 Samuel 8. Let us be like all the other nations so we could enslave them and make war against them. I don't see any heavenly beings, do you? Me neither. I don't know what Dr. Heiser is talking about. Let's go to its root word and let's get into this. See exactly what this company is. To fight, assemble, mustered, ward, perform, to wait, to go forth, wage war, fight, serve. To wage war, fight, to go forth with war, to serve at sacred tent, to cause to go forth and to muster. To assemble, to fight, to perform, to wait upon. I mean, we're talking violent things here. And that be the primitive root word to that. So basically, what this host is the giant of the earth. Is that not what you are told to do as a morning star? To go into the darkness, into the giants, into the prostitutes, the Rahab? It's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Of the high ones. Well, let's get into these ones because there's a lot of war going on. There's a lot of let's just take a look at it. There's no need to ramble on like Michael Heiser does. So this is Maram, the highest place, highest, the height, above, high places, to dignify, to be haughty. There's a good one, bragging, boastful, to be profaning. And we're going to get into this Isaiah 14 thing too. To be lofty, to be the high ones, to be upward. Height, elevated, to be elevated place. I shall be above the morning stars. Dude, what spiritual beings are you talking about, Michael? There's none here. Height, proudy of the nobles, the kings. King Leviathan, king over all the children of pride. Dude, there's no spiritual beings that are rebelling against God here. What the hell? Just like Samson. This is why Samson lost his hair. His hair are the morning stars. Jesus points every single hair on your head. You are part of the Godhead, and he names all the stars. This is why Samson lost his hair. He said, I get all my power from the Elohim, not the name they come in. This is why they roll up their stars, the sun stops giving their light, and all your stars are casted to the earth because you forgot the name you came in and you start worshiping the Leviathan. This is why Samson fell. This is why Adam turned into a beast of the field, Eve fell. This is why Solomon is black, etc., etc. What the hell do you think happened to David? Because David and Mary are synonymous as well. Yes, they are. So what keeps happening here? It's not because of the influence of spiritual beings. It's because we start worshiping the Leviathan and forget the name on how life has been brought forth abundantly. How did we come out of the woods? What? And these two mountains that keep getting mentioned, you're always in the valley of dry bones. You're always stuck between two mountains. And you proclaim yourself to be high in the absence of his name, in the presence of the Elohim. That's what's being said. This is the whole point of your Psalms 82, your Genesis 6, to go into the darkness. Do not look upon me, for I am black and my beloved is white. All onyx stones must be Nazarite. All black stones must be Nazarited. Okay? How come, I do a poor job explaining it, but I connect. Everything I'm saying connects. This dude has to bring up spiritual beings for it to make sense. And then he includes the book of Enoch and other descriptives that go outside of the very word he's examining. It's crazy to me. Where in the hell did you get spirits out of all this? I see Orion. Different stars, buddy, fallen ones. Orion is a giant in the earth they suffer for a lack of knowledge. This is why Jesus said, not by wisdom alone. Some people aren't going to get it, and these animals must be put on the ark. It's for their benefit. So I don't see any spiritual beings. Let's go into the high haughty. What is this from? To lift, to hold up, to exalt, high, to offer, to give, to heave, to exalt, lofty, to take, to fall. Higher, to rise up, to be high, to be lofty. But let's get down to the bottom of this, because this is blah, 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 blah. Yes, we know that you will be like the Most High, that you will be above the morning stars, that blah, 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 blah. But when we get down to it, you will be rotten and you will be wormy. Oh, isn't that how Isaiah 14 ends? Sure is. And are we talking about a spiritual being, Mr. Michael? No, we're not. You are. That's why you have to keep reinforcing the imagery. Because when I examine the word, which is what Jesus told me to do, he told me to calculate the number of the man, and then he told me to recognize the name. Okay? Oh, so that's exactly what I did. And what do you know? It revealed Orion, a giant in the earth, the mountain on the other side in the valley of dry bones, up against the mountain of Yahweh. So heaps upon heaps upon heaps. Bite them all with the jawbone. Let's continue.
I know. When I first heard about this, I was blown away. Like,
I know, because it takes you to
I was just like,
Disneyland.
what do you mean?
It
Those
takes
are
you to
just people,
Disneyland.
right? Just like
It takes you to
people, right?
Disneyland,
But
and the next thing you know, you're unaccountable in the garden saying, it wasn't me. It was that bitch that you gave me. That Satan. Dude, no accountability. We will know you by your fruits. I sent you forth to produce seeds. What do you think these seeds are? You guys are seriously putting marijuana in your pipes? Just like when Jesus made wine and you don't understand how Noah got drunk in the grape fields. Jesus did make wine, and it's not an excuse to get drunk. It's so that he brought forth life abundantly. Not just for the righteous, but for the black too. So, let's continue.
But I believe from watching Michael Heiser, he does say that people who have died were described as that, like, spiritual being as well. Like when Samuel came back from the dead, they used, I believe, Elohim as like a spiritual being in that connotation. So couldn't they just be elders then? Or are they separate? Obviously he thinks they're separate, and I think so too now. But I was just blown away when I first heard about this thought.
Who might they be?
The elders. Well, let's go back to Jacob when he was begging Yahweh, please tell me thy name. Why do you think it was boomeranged in a question? Why does thou ask after my name? He's asking the elders.
Again, they're the sons of God, the ones that are loyal. It's the council. The council approving of the day of the Lord.
Matter of fact, let's look into that term. The elders. What verse was that? 24? Let's look at elders real quick. Oh, my mouse is not cooperating. There it is right there. His ancients. There it is right there. Excuse me. See, sometimes you gotta watch your face value language. It's so deceptive. See, in some translations it says his elders, but here it says his ancients, which are the men of renown. Why do you think I'm going to click on this? Let's go. Let's see what it says. Let me close this one out, close that tab out, close that tab out, because we ain't talking about that no more. These are the men of renown. These are the elders. It's the elders, the old men, the ancient, the aged, the elders, the ancient men, the senators, the old women. Ooh, women concept. The enmity between the wife. This is why y'all don't understand me, and you need to invent invisible people so you could remain unaccountable in the garden. Who's the beast of the field, he say you? Come on now. Old of humans, of having authority. Elders. We are talking about humans, doctor. Yes, we are. 100%. Humans. This is why they die. And why they lose their hair sometimes, because we forget that we came in his name. So let's just look at these elders, these ancients, the men of renown, the people of Shem. It's all the same thing, of the name, the Yahweh, the self-existing eternal name. Compute. Please, compute. See, of old, aged, to become old, the men of renown. Dun, 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 dun. And then you got all of its usages here. But see, it's the men of renown. I don't understand cartoons. Jesus told me be against imagery. I don't know why he keeps stressing it.
Again, these ideas again are interrelated, but I want to show you something in the New Testament that picks up.
But you did see how his elders are humans, right? Should we click on that again? Come on, let's go back down. Okay, let's go. These are temples. These are your altars. Right there. That is how the beast of the field becomes an Adamah. By becoming a son of God, by accepting the deliverance of the one and only begotten. That's exactly how it's done. How else does he walk in the flesh? And why do you constantly deny him before man? And tell me these crazy stories of cartoon people. But you see that, right? Of altars. This is Rigamah, the council itself.
Which
I don't understand cartoons. I don't.
Judgment of the gods.
You know why I'm so against this? Because it causes so much godlessness. You ever hear the non-believers when you're out here talking about the gospel? What's their number one comeback? Where was Jesus? I hear you, girl. I hear you. I didn't put my faith in a cartoon. I don't know why you did. Why do you want to be enslaved? Do you understand that the God that he talks about, oh, Jesus is coming back soon. He's going to enslave us all. Dude, he's automatically unworthy of worship. That's not what the day of the Lord is. He comes like a thief in the night. What the? Come on.
So the resurrection and the resurrection body.
And they're trying to tell you, too, that Jesus only mattered 2,000 years ago, and he's only going to matter when he comes back, and everything in between doesn't matter, is exempt, doesn't apply to you, etc., etc. No shit, where was Jesus? Do you hear the godlessness you create? Do you hear it? Where was your cartoon? Well, where's your fucking space aliens? Where's your goddamn Leviathan? You are the tail, you buttholes. You are the tail of it. And I moonwalk across this forehead all day, kid. All day.
Talking about the things that are going to unfold at the end of days. Then comes
as if you're exempt.
Delivers the kingdom
Wonderful.
to God the Father after destroying every rule, every authority, and every
So
power.
violent, so violent.
As we looked at this
No. That is not why the one and only begotten deliverance is here. Not so he could destroy everything in a flood and with fire. No, dude, it's so Satan could be cooked and come to the cultured ways and come out of the woods to bring life abundantly, even for your enemies, because their children deserve it. Everything we're doing is not for you. It's for them. It's for them. This is crazy. He's about to get violent. What the?
terminology, rule is archaic.
Also, you shall come out of Egypt. He says this. over and over. I have a video called Hova. It details this perfectly. Perfectly. Oh man, I have an incoming call. Damn it.
It's the same word for the rulers elsewhere.
I'll have to call you back.
Okay? Authority, exousia, same rule, that's, in other passages, the principalities and powers, the rulers.
The strongholds.
Yep. And that's the verse that we always talk about. Like, yeah, humans are not our enemies. For we do not fight against flesh and blood, but against the principalities that rule the unseen realm. That's what we need to be worried about. There are things that are going on at play. And a lot of times, we don't
oh my God, this
give
poor
that
kid.
enough
This poor
credit,
kid.
probably.
This
Compared
poor
to
kid. He's
what
lost
they
now.
deserve.
And their power, principalities and powers, the same word. All
lost
three of
now.
these terms are the same terms that Paul uses in passages that describe the judgment of supernatural beings.
Oh my
Passages
God, more
like-
supernatural beings. Dude, Jesus destroys strongholds. Dude, you are absorbed by the deceiver. Absorbed. You're gone. Have a little self-discovery, little accountability, and get behind Yahshua HaMashiach. Satan, what the fuck?
Ephesians 1:20.
Dude,
Just
I
riff on
don't
this a
believe
little bit.
this. This is crazy.
Okay, so Paul, again, talking about the work of Christ, according to the working of his great might that he worked in Christ when he raised him from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly places, far above all rule and authority and power.
And speaking of
Why is
exiting these authorities, let's go back to the tomb. You're a dead entity. This is how you wound up in the tomb. Jesus rolls this rock away. You see that word right there? That word right there is Tyre. That word right there is Nebuchadnezzar. Okay? It is the capstone of all authority of your gods of legalese, of philosophies, and writings. That is what all of that shit is about. Jesus tells you the law is insufficient. He tells you that false gods are appointed in your belief in these strongholds. He's not saying, go burn it all down. You guys are crazy. That's not what the firebringers do. That's not what they do.
Connect the
Oh
resurrection,
my God.
the resurrection with the defeat.
And Jesus rolls that rock away, by the way. I'm sorry for my rambling. I've never done just a follow-through video like this, but Jesus rolls that rock away. He rolls the Tyre away. He flips the Nebuchadnezzar, and he frees you from Egypt. You will be a Nazarite.
Of the rulers, the authorities, and the powers. Just hold that
Whether
question.
you need to be crushed into powder or not. Isn't it strange how Cain was marked, preserved, and protected in Nimrod? Isn't it strange? No, it's not. Not once you understand what I'm telling you. It's not strange at all.
That's a great question.
Colossians 2:13. You who were dead in your trespasses and the uncircumcision of your flesh, God made alive together with him, having forgiven us all our trespasses by canceling the record of debt that stood against us with its legal demands. This he set aside, nailing it to the cross, and he disarmed the rulers and authorities and put them to open shame.
Nailing it to the cross. This is why I said Isaac put the wood on his back too.
Wow.
By triumphing over them in him. See, in the now part of the fulfillment of Psalm 82,
In the hymn,
the authority,
by the way, that's the holy, holy, holy is his name, and only seraphim speak that, which are morning stars. There's There's
the
no
legitimacy
cartoons
of the
running
rule
around.
of the principalities and powers, these spiritual powers of darkness over the nations, that has been withdrawn and nullified. The Most High was the
Dang. So Jesus obviously defeated death, but also defeated the principalities. Like, he conquered it. They no longer have authority like they used to. Like, Jesus conquered it once and for all. Jesus has the ultimate authority. It's beautiful.
Another damn advertisement.
God set this up. Yes, there was a rebellion. Yes, it goes bad. But he's the one that, I mean, this was his judgment back at Babel. So, there it is. And God's saying, look.
Which is confusion, and that is the rebellion, because you are of deception, which is the devil. Notice these terms have definitions that carry dreams, concepts, dark mysteries. There's nothing that's going to physically manifest in front of you, dude. Like, what the hell?
I wanted Israel to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. And I promised Abraham that one of their seed, someone from the seed of Abraham would come, and it would be through his seed that all the nations.
And Abraham is also the bread at the Father's table. It's very interesting.
Be blessed. Well, Paul in Galatians 3 and Galatians 6 tells us that seed was Christ. And so this is the fulfillment of the Abrahamic covenant in the now. That it's through the resurrection, through the work of Jesus, that the legal demands, again, the authority of the rulers and the authorities, again, over the nations,
elements of the world,
nullified and withdrawn. They have every right to turn from their gods and come back home.
Yeah, we don't have to
Peter 3
participate.
says the same thing.
Yeah, we don't need to be your merchandise.
And the resurrection,
Yeah, the traffickers, the Canaanites, they will not barcode us and turn us into a package of hot dogs. Into an Orion, a giant in the earth. And who can make war with the beast? I'm done doing this. I'm going to call back who just called me. I'm going to get back to real life. I just wanted to share this video, create awareness, dive into depths in what I just shared with you. Have courage. Take the Holy Spirit, look into my doctrine, and then dismiss cartoons. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is the second video I've done. I've looked at. He did another one on the waters, which is what encouraged me to do this one. I should go back and do a rant video about the waters too. But dude, he had like over 5,000 comments, over 23,000 likes. And what the fuck are you people talking about? Cartoons. That leaves you unaccountable. It wasn't me. Okay, dude.